Paula saw this and shrieked with amusement. Great, I thought to myself. Really covert. Luckily, the electric guitar solo was loud enough to disguise Paula's hysterics, and when I looked at Ariana's dancing form, my girlfriend barely made any indication that she was aware of anything around her, save for the lead guitarist's sick solo. "What are you doing?" Paula screamed into my ear through the music. I honestly didn't know what to say. I stared blankly at her and took a sip of my beer. It's good for your skin," I yelled back stupidly. Paula found it hilarious and was still talking about it well into the night as we tried comfortably to fit into our tent when the day's festivities finally mellowed and everyone was either too drunk or too tired. Pro tip: if you ever want to buy a tent for 6 people and you find a 6-person tent that you like, go up a size. The rest of the weekend went by smoothly. It seemed as if luck was finally on my side. There was no sign of Ariana at the festival, and I was finally able to relax. That was, until the last night, when Daniela decided the cramped tent could do with another exhausting look at her wedding binder. It really brought me back to the stressful reality that this wedding was really happening, and I had no way to escape it. "I have always fantasized about my dream wedding since I was 5. Remember when we were young?" she asked me, thinking back to one specifically vivid memory of us playing at the Rivera's backyard during an unusually hot summer. That afternoon, she had wrangled me from the boys' corner in the yard, prying me away from her male cousins and making me play a vital role in her pretend wedding. I was the groom, of course, and her sisters were the bridesmaids. After having been wed by a similarly unlucky second cousin, whom one of the sisters forced into playing the priest, Daniela kissed me on the cheeks. For a boy of 6, that meant cooties. And I wasn't the slightest bit happy about having to stand there awkwardly as groups of cooing aunts pinched our cheeks and remarked how cute the scene was. Mostly, I remember the shame I felt as I looked back towards the corner where all the boys were huddled, playing yo-yos and smirking at the sight of my predicament. "Yeah, I remember," I said, trying my best to be polite, while also wishing I was snoring as soundly as Paula was. "I can't believe it's finally happening," Daniela trilled, slamming her binder closed. From one corner of the tent, Maria gave me a little squeak. Though it was so soft, I couldn't be sure if it was her or some desert mouse outside. Sophia huffed, and beside me, Alina gasped, probably from some sinister twist in the thriller novel she was currently reading. "Yay," I said weakly, awkwardly making jazz hands at Daniela before mentally shooting myself in the head. To be completely honest, I wasn't expecting the sisters to be staying at our house for longer than the weekend. I thought they were just coming over for a bit to sort out plans and make sure everything was going to go as smoothly as their family had hoped. I was despondent most of the time, missing my girlfriend, and feeling like a total jerk for ghosting her. But what was I supposed to do? A week passed, and it seemed the Riveras had simply dumped their daughters on me. What I thought was going to be a short, agonizing weekend turned into a month of getting to know them. They slept at our house, ate with me, walked my dog with me. I felt like I'd somehow died in my sleep and woke up to my own personal hell. Suddenly, I had to live with 5 girls with 5 wildly different personalities and take them out on dates that would ensure I never ran into Ariana. But with my luck, it was never smooth sailing. I never realized how small our town really was until I found just how often and how easily I could have bumped into my girlfriend. When I took Alina to a museum, Ariana was there, handing out flyers for the new exhibit. When Sophia insisted that I take her shopping, we came too close to being in the same queue as my girlfriend. The more I tried to avoid Ariana and keep her from finding out this horrible situation, the more the universe seemed determined to make life hell for me. The one safe haven I had was Maria. She wasn't a fan of crowds and insisted that her date night with me be a quiet night in. I gave the girls free rein of my Netflix account, and we had popcorn in our pajamas. Slowly, I got better at knowing where Ariana might be and at scheduling the girls' time with me in a way that would avoid a dreaded confrontation. If I was being honest, I was ashamed. Ashamed at how spineless I was being, and how I just disappeared without a word from Ariana's life. I'm a coward, I know that. I just thought things would fix themselves eventually, and the nightmare would end. But as my luck would have it, it was only about to get worse. "I can drive. Don't worry, I know exactly where to go," said Daniela on one clear, breezy Saturday. "If you're sure," I agreed lazily. Daniela insisted it was time to pick the wedding rings, and if you knew Daniela, you would know that there was no saying no to her. So with me and the rest of her sisters in tow, we made for a bespoke jeweler's workshop. I'd suggested that we do it during a weekday so as to avoid traffic, and added that it was technically Mary's schedule that day. But Daniela wasn't to be swayed. "You don't understand. The sun's out today, and the light will be perfect," she trilled excitedly. "We can see the rock's real colors, and it'll be so much prettier and easier to tell which one my sisters and I will love." She looked at me with a wide smile on her lips, but with an intense squint in her eyes. After all, it's our wedding too, right? Mary wasn't helping the situation when, from the back seat, she whispered almost inaudibly, "I don't mind." It wasn't as if I had any choice in the matter anyway. So we got to the jeweler's store and the bell above the door tinkled as Daniela burst into the shop before I noticed a familiar figure behind the counter. Standing in the far corner of the room, looking at me as if I was someone back from the dead, was Ariana. When I first found out I was arranged to be married to the Rivera girls, I thought I had no idea what was about to happen to my life. But at that very moment, as the door of the jeweler's store swung behind me, I was proven to have even less of a clue.